Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome along back again to RPM Season 6. It's First Division again on this Tuesday evening. And it is time for round number 12 of our shortened 14-round season. We have the street circuits of JEDDAH tonight to round off the second portion of the season already. Coming towards the latter stages. Does not feel like it's been 3 months since we set out in Australia. But here we are. Then we've got a break week. And then it is Zandvoort and Brazil. So, Zandvoort, a circuit I don't think we've raced at RPM before. Considering the amount of Dutch drivers we have, I'm surprised that that's the case. But nonetheless, let me get myself going again and set up. Let me know who's in chat. I'm very much looking forward to this. JEDDAH is one of my favourite circuits to watch and to drive. So tonight will be good for me. I'm a little bit late starting, so I might not have time to run through too much. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if this is updated. It has, so we're good to go. A few changes. Unfortunately, Riker still with the Williams logo there. I'm not sure what that's about. However, Natalie still in the lead of the championship. She picked up lots of points last week, and Smith the same. He moves up into P2. His teammate there alongside him on the other side in P12. So Smith doing the work, but Spivey's there still collecting valuable points. I haven't checked who's driving tonight. It's probably worth doing that. We don't have any green ticks yet, so we aren't getting underway. We've just got the go, go, go from Smith, which is good to see. Let's see then. First Division attendance. Who don't we have? We're missing Mocky, Frax and Riker. Crucially, Riker, P3 there. Still within touching distance of Smith, but maybe not tonight if he can go ahead and get himself a good result. We've got both Ferraris, both McLarens, one Aston Martin, both Alfa Romeos, both Haas, one AlphaTauri, one Alpine in Rodo Ruza, and the one Williams in Natalie. So that should be something like 16 or 17 drivers. 15 drivers. I need to mute my TV. 1 second. So I've got a whole new setup again going on this week. I'm going to post something afterwards because I think it looks quite good if I do say so myself. Finish off my coffee, get the stream open. Wow, we've already got Westy and Jones joining us. Jones obviously on the track, mate. Get your head in the game. But absolutely, mate, those tones ringing through your ears. It's a great time. Anyway, we are live. So I'm going to... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I fucking don't report. Well, that's annoying. I wonder if that's just me. Or if I can get... Let me check the Discord, see if that's just me. Well, fingers crossed we can get back in as a spectator, which I know we can, and hopefully it doesn't mess up the lobby too much. I'm aware that there is... Oh, is that Jones inviting me here? I think I'm in. I just need to press triangle. Nice. Yeah, I'm aware that the top is wrong. I'm going to change that in a moment. And there's no entity tonight, just me and by myself. But that's fine. So we're back in, and I don't think anything's underway yet. So drama averted. Drama averted. Higgsy and Kieran joining us as well. Good to see you lads. The usuals coming in. Obviously sprint race tonight, so we'll be straight underway with the action. And I'm not really ready for this, to be honest. So tonight we've got all the new telemetry. Don't think there's been any changes for what we had last time. However, I didn't get to play around with it all. I was a bit busy. It was quite a busy race, obviously. And I was also going to say, yeah, I'm going to trial this replay system. Now, is this me? I feel like, is this me? Stuck on this thing. Oh, this is bad. This bad. I guess I can pick up Jones's invite in a second. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, cheers, lads. That's always good. Okay. We'll get in there eventually, I'm sure. It turns out it wasn't me, just nobody readied up. So I was sat there thinking I was stuck while the race was going on. Yeah, so I'm trying this replay system tonight. We'll see how that goes. It worked in the ACC lobby the other day. So theoretically, there's no reason why it shouldn't work on this game. Here we go. Just in time then. We have 15 drivers, and obviously we have the reverse sprint race. So Natalie starting at the back in P15. Let's leave. Actually, let's take a look at the tyres. Everyone will be on mediums. In fact, no, we've got Smith and Matty on the softs. Hey, maybe they've tested that. Maybe they can keep it the duration of the race. We'll see what happens then. So Ivor starting in P2, McLaren up in P3. Crucially though, Snellhank is in P9, and we do have access. I say this formally. We do have access to his onboard, so we can go ahead and try and pull some of his stuff if things kick off. Things kick off at the start, and we miss something going on in the midfield. So I will leave him running in the background. I'm asking a hell of a lot of my computer right now, but it seems to be holding up. So fingers crossed it stays that way. We've got Akirabai, I believe that's the right pronunciation. Akirabai. I'm not sure who this is in RPM, but props to you too. As we, God, they're not even at the final corner yet. It's okay. We come around, and we'll get going soon. Plenty of corners to manage. 27 of them on, on the track map in front of me. Thankfully, none of them have any names, because that would be a hell of a lot of names to remember. Right. So, let's think. Who do we want to ride on board with? I mean, it makes sense to just go with maybe Callum or someone. He might give us a good angle. But Ruza puts himself in his grid box. Ivor has already set himself off for a bad start, as has Scooter. Callum's got it though, so if you can get him... Oh, look at the drivers all around here getting disqualified on the line. We may as well guide everyone in and see who else gets disqualified. Everyone else seems okay. And Natalie is the last. We're going to have the green flag. And the race in Jeddah is going to be underway. We've got 5 lights, and the first division is underway. They were held for quite some time. It looks like Scooter's got a poor start off the line there, as we all go into turn 1, and Ivor challenging on those cold tyres for the lead. Scooter's switched back. Let's see what else is going on in the midfield. It seems like everyone's got through. No, they absolutely have not. Spivey gets turned round, and he and the Mercedes, his teammate Smith, right at the back. Natalie up 2 places as a result of that. And Ruza has held on to get the position changes going. Snellhank looking to put a move on inorganic maybe. And he has, and he squeezed him a little bit there. And the McLarens could be riding in P5 and P6. Jones up 3 places. Great result, great start, sorry, for him at the start of the race. I think I need to turn this down a little bit because I can barely hear myself. Apologies. Try that. Keep me posted in chat if it's not enough as well, please. Right, so back to it then. So Jones is just a second outside of the Red Bull, but a great start in the top 3. Who's that? Leaky has been passed by Dino, but no troubles there. Let's see what else is going on. Snellhank does eventually get that move done on inorganic. When we get a moment in a few laps time, I'll take you back to the action that occurred into turn 1. Danos has dropped and Matty has taken inorganic. So inorganic, unfortunately, getting past quite a bit. He's down 3 places from the start of the race, and I believe that would have been a track limits warning from him, and he's already getting hunted up now by Leaky and Natalie, who will look to scoop up another position. Ivor, oh, and look at this, Roos has made a mistake at the front, and this has opened up all sorts of battling as they go too wide there. And they have made contact, as you might expect. That's Jones on Ivor, and Jones may have cut the chicane, but he takes P2 and steps himself up, and Scooter's gone. Scooter's gone, he's dropped it, as you would expect, in that corner there, and the safety car, the virtual safety car is out on track. So, in all that commotion, Callum has taken the lead of the race. Jones has got himself up 5 places. A great start from he and Matty. He's up 6. Ivor, not too bad. I mean, considering the cold tyres that he had, could have been worse. So he holds on at the podium places. Disaster for Ruza, though, who is right in behind Ivor, looking to put a challenge on as soon as we have green flags. But a huge gap of 3 seconds to the top 2. So Ivor's either got a bit of a cushion here to put his foot down, which it looks like he does. These guys are full throttle, so Ivor's going to possibly change that, bring that gap back down. Still under VSC. It's going to go any second now. But Matty is flying, and he's got the better of his championship rivals, Natalie and Smith, sorry. Still under VSC. They've passed the scene of the accident. Oh no, they haven't passed the scene of the accident yet. They're about to. It should be green by then. And now we'll ride on with Jones, who's going to be near within a second. There we go. Green flags and DRS enabled. Possibly a bit of cold tyres there from Jones. And Roos has been passed already. Cold tyres for him. Absolutely. He's in danger of being dropped to P7 if he's not careful. DRS will be enabled. Let's ride on board with Dino, who gets the better exit. He lost it a little bit in the corner there, Ruza. And Dino steps to the outside. And he keeps it tight, though, not to allow any room. And Matty's gone up the inside as well. Lovely corner there to watch. And it's gone from bad to worse from Ruza within a matter of corners. Wasn't sure entirely what happened for him to end up in P7. But he has, and who's that round? It's Leaky. And he's getting smashed to pieces here, I think. It's really hard to find a car when they're all moving around like that. Yeah, and Leaky and Inorganic struggling at the back as well. And who's this gone now? Inorganic and Leaky. Spivey closing in on Rodo. Nobody else battling too hard at the moment. What a shot that is. He's not dipping under the slipstream though. And I'm waiting for an opportunity to bring you the lap 1 incident. I might just do it in the interim if this keeps going on as it is. We've got Snellhanks on board though. as he sets the fastest lap of the race. And Matty, I believe, has just picked up 2 places, has he? Or just the 1, is it? And he's up to P5, really putting in the gap. Natalie staying with him, though. She's still just 2 cars behind, and Smith the same. All making the way through the pack, relatively similar to one another. Oh, and he's been squeezed there. Ivor completely squeezed and Snellheng up against the wall. I think he's given the position, and he might have damage because he's had to drop it to Matty, so he's now up another position. And now round goes Dino, and Ivor's all over the place. Dino, what's he given here? That was a horrible angle. Get me off that. Ruza has taken Ivor, so has Ivor picked up damage? He has. He's got end-plate damage, I can see there. I'm checking for damage on Ivor's car now. Yeah, he's just got a little bit of front right damage. So nothing giving there. Dino's taking Matty, these 2 battling. Let's see. They've got the McLaren in front of them, who's going to get in the way a little bit. It's going to be a little bit of a bottleneck as they do make contact. Dino does make contact, but they're all okay. And Snellheng's going to get past here. He's going to be P5. And he just has to sit there and let them fly by. Is Matty going to be in a position to challenge going into this braking zone? No, he is not, but he'll set himself up for the next one. Ivor lunging down on the championship leader. And Smith's there looking to take the place. Ivor loses out to his teammate in the process. And now all the way down in P10. A disaster over the last few laps from him. Smith taking the fastest lap as he looks to stick with his rival, which he absolutely is. He needs a costly mistake by Natalie to regain some of those points lost. All the while Matty up in P4. Snellheng closing in on him though. The pack thankfully around here, not like it was around Canada, is a lot closer. Let's check on the chat. See what else is going on. Jula, yes, I've been seeing you in and around the place as Matty gets past. Oh, but Dino's going to stick it up the side. On those soft tyres, it's really played into Matty's favour. Smith hasn't been able to make such a good use out of it, but it's definitely worked for Matty. He's up 10 places. And Reese has made a mistake, so he and Ivor having a bit of a torrid time. Was that a bit of damage on the wall there? I think Ivor's just having to stay out with that damage. That's really going to cost him. Brodo will probably pass him sooner rather than later. Jones is in DRS. Let's watch on board, see how much he gains. Not quite close enough there. Evening to you, Backmeister. And yeah, sorry, Julia, I was going to say, yeah, good luck in the race. I'm glad that you've joined us just in time for the finales, and then you can start afresh next season. Ah, the uncle of Stubby. Well, there you go. Well, I'm fond of Stubby. We've gamed together separately with his group, Crokey and one other lad, which is yeah, it's good to see you here then. Good stuff. Look at that guy in P2. Someone is stepping up. Absolutely is. I can only imagine you're in his ear backer, so I guess you're going to take the claim for it. And look at this. Just as we talk about him stepping up, he's engaging ERS. He moves up the inside of Kieran as they Callum as they head into turn 13. And he's got the move done. Jones up 6 places, leads the sprint with only 3.5 laps to go. And Callum will look to stick with him, but Jones has got a significantly better ERS. And I'm sure that'll be something that backer will be reminding him. He's got a lot to spare, and he can really put a gap in between him and Callum if he so chooses. Needs to get him out of DRS. Huge gap to Matty though. It'll take something for him to catch up, so he has just got to worry about staying out of Dino's DRS, which I think he's going to do. Natalie and Smith still sticking with each other. Snellheng, the McLaren, is the next to take the bait. He could have 2 of them passing him in the same corner. And Natalie does send it. No, she doesn't. Never mind. Now Snellheng's in trouble. Let's ride on board with Smith. See how close he gets. Natalie's got no ERS to use, so it's all just on Smith. And we've got Dino as well in trouble, who's kind of, again, boxed Snellheng in there a little bit. The fight for P4 well and truly on, and that might, if they get it done soon, it might allow whoever ends up in P4 to catch up with Matty, but at the minute, with all this battling, that's not going to happen. Matty will be loving what he's seeing on the track map and on the timing sheets. As all these guys, every braking zone they go into, they'll all be losing some time. Ruza also picked up some damage in that time. And Natalie hasn't got the better traction. Snellhenk giving it to her. And saying you're going to have to do more than that to get past. He's not just going to let her by. He might have no choice under the next double DRS, but we'll soon see as Danos is staying with this as well. Smith under pressure. Each car here really thinking about having to attack and also defend, which is very tough on such a high-speed track where things come at you so fast. As he had to turns 22, 3 and 4 and down the straight, which isn't a straight. Issue in sector 1. Leakey's in the wall. Let's see what happens here then. No one's going to be close enough to put a move on, I don't think. But all the while, Dino under pressure as he leads us round for the penultimate lap of the race. Jones has got himself out of DRS range. So he is taking pole for the main event. If things stay as they are. Here we go then. Dino is under pressure. Snellhenk is alongside and he's put himself a buffer. Natalie looks to drive around the outside. It's all getting a little bit cramped. Smith could look for a good exit here. His soft tyres will probably be running low. But he's passed Natalie. So he's gained points on it if he can hold on to what he's got. And you can kind of see those tyres now starting to drop off. And he'll want to put a car's margin in between her and him. So he's got to get past Dino. Under DRS here, perhaps. Let's take a look at these tyres. Smith's 40, 45%, nearly 50 on the rears. Natalie, not even touching 30 yet. So Smith has got it done, though. And he's put himself with a little bit of a buffer. No DRS, though. So he's going to be under threat. As Natalie, is she going to really send it around the outside there? That could have been bad. Smith nearly was on the receiving end of that one. I'm actually very surprised he wasn't on the receiving end of that one. That looked very, very close. But Natalie's got the job done, so Smith can now see her in his rear wing once again. There's still a whole lap to go. Very slow through there from Dino. That's going to set Danos up perhaps for a run. And Rodo's saying, hello, I'm here. He's not forgotten about either. He's dropped Ivor. And retiree there for Leakey in the pits. Smith stays ahead of Natalie. Let's see what happens with DRS though, because Smith is not going to be having it. He's going to be vulnerable here. And there's going to be that double dose of slipstream for Rodo as well. Dino could be in trouble. Oh, a little send by Danos. He's been squeezed. Dino didn't really give him the room, and Rodo has snapped up on Danos. Unfortunate there, he wasn't given the room. And Rodo's picked up a penalty, which won't really cost him unless he... well, unless he gets past Dino and Danos on the final lap of the sprint. Natalie now still chasing down Smith and Danos, as we said, in the hunt with Dino. Nothing giving at the front. It looks as though Jones is going to bring it home. And Matty has got past Callum as well in the meantime. So he has gained 11 positions. An absolute great drive from him. The same said for Smith and Natalie, who've picked up 9 respectively. And here we go then. No ERS from either of them. And Natalie's very close. It's a risky place to put a move up the inside. She's probably best just to hold on as she does. Wise. And now this is where she can launch an attack. A much longer straight. He can build up a lot more momentum through 25, 26. Into the braking zone for 7. And there goes Danos. I can't really capture that. He's binned it on the exit of 25. He's obviously lost the rear. And he will start in P13. And Jones has crossed the line to win the sprint. Big congratulations to him. Huge result, and that will give him some confidence after a few weeks of disaster, really. Matty has taken Callum in the end, as we saw. And Snellhenk, great drive from him, up 5 places into P4. Smith's done what he can, scoring points more than Natalie has, and he'll start ahead, crucially, in the feature. He needs to hope that something goes wrong, and he can stick ahead of it for the remainder of the race. Rodo in P7, Dino 8, Organic in 9th. Not too bad after the poor start. I think that was Ruza in 10th. Must have been Ivor in 11th. Can't remember 12th, and then Leaky, Spivey, and Danos, the retirees. Let me take you back then to the start of the race. We're not going to have any audio. There is the confirmation of the results. Let me just quickly get that screenshot for these guys. Scooter at P15. There you go. Right, let's try it then. Let's see what happens. So, moment. As we prepare then for the feature race, I'm going to take us back to that start. We can try and see what happened to Spivey once again. I'm not sure how much of this I captured. Last. So fingers crossed he can have a better start next time. Some of the drivers are waiting on the grid. Let's see if anything's happening in chat. Kieran, yeah, you are 100% correct. You know, it's a grace actually that Jones isn't in Premier Division, because it would just be no fun. He would dominate, wouldn't he? And it's his kind nature that says, you know what, I'll just save the bother and I'll commentate instead. So, still waiting. People clearly don't want to ready up, as we saw in the start of the sprint race. Not much being said in chat. A few people nervous going through turn 1 and having to do 25 more laps. Don't really blame them. Although I do like this track, in fairness. What are we waiting for here? There we go, 10 seconds. Okay, cool. Right, so the formation lap will be underway. Now let's set up some statistics. Why not compare Jones and, let's say, Callum, who battled him alongside each other. Just setting up the OBS for everything that I'll need. And this should work. Oh, it's moved a little bit. Oh, well, that's fine. Yeah, well, we can see Jones's. We can see Jones's last form. And as you can see, I mean, it's not too bad for a P4, P7, and a P8. But those last two races, the DNF in Canada, not deserved at all. And then the DNS, due to issues. What was the issues that he had last week? Did he disconnect or something? Yeah, really unfortunate for him. For reference, Callum's, on the other hand, is the actual complete reverse. He's had two DNS, a DNS and a DNF in Abu Dhabi and Imola. However, he's had a P6 but 2 P12s in his last 2 races. So starting in P3, he'll really hope that he can, you know, nail on that kind of position. Maybe a top 6, top 7, top 10 at the absolute minimum, I would hope. So let's, fingers crossed that he can bring in some good points. And Snellhenk the same. Good points from McLaren, with Scooter starting last. He's got a job on his hands for sure. Big gap through the spread of the field there to Smith and also to Scooter in the back. Let's take a look at the tyres then. Most of the field opting for the mediums, but 3 in organic, Spivey and Danos going hard. Well, apparently Jones's best qualifying is P5, and I'm not sure where he started in sprints gone by, but that could be. This could be the first time he started on pole, especially this season. Let's get rid of that then. And we will ride on board with someone around here. Snellhenk hasn't done himself any favours. Oh, a little bit of a jink in the order there, but we're back. And we have 5 lights. We've got 25 laps ahead of us, and the feature race in Jeddah is underway, and Snellhenk's not got a bad start, but Smith has got a terrible one. He's already dropped it to Natalie. Jones holds on ahead and squeezed on the inside there. The McLaren, someone's gone off. The Ferrari in the back, Danos or Iver. Jones gets away cleanly and Callum stays up in P3. Natalie, though, 2 places off the line. She finds herself up in P4. Snellhenk battling on with Smith, so a poor start from Smith, unfortunately. And you can see he's really struggling on traction. I'm not sure if he didn't get the tyre warm-up very good, very correct on his formation lap, but he is struggling. I'm not sure. It must have been the Ferrari there. Natalie's immediately past Callum, so she is going to be set free, and that is absolutely not what Jones wants to see. He's got the inside line. Matty's tried it round the outside, but Jones hangs on. But seeing Natalie on his scoreboard already is not what he wants, and that will just put him under even more pressure. So fingers crossed he can get his head down and drive a clean race. Bring home some good points. Up and down the field then, Smith is looking to put a move in on Callum. No DRS yet, but he's very close. And Callum has unfortunately already dropped a couple places on lap 1. And you fear that the pace against Smith is not going to be enough. He might have enough to hold out Rodo. And Ruza, he is gone. He's dropped it. Are there going to be any sends here? I think not. Matty did try it on Jones. Didn't get the move done though. And Smith is going side by side with Callum. He is going to use DRS. Jones sets the fastest lap, as you would expect, being the first to cross the line. And it's not going to be enough. I'm not sure how much he used there. Oh, is that a little bit of contact there? Let's see. Rolo setting up a nicer exit perhaps. And Smith has got that move done in the end. Perhaps a little bit of contact. But everyone is okay. I'm back with you guys, sorry about that. Natalie, oh no, Jones has lost the lead of the race. No bias towards Matty at all, but really nice to see Jones up there. And now he's going to be outside DRS, and Natalie is going to be reeling him in lap after lap, you fear. Snellhenk, though, staying with this battle as well. And Smith really needs to try and remain inside that DRS. Natalie looks to have a significantly trimmer car than Jones. She was absolutely flying in a straight line there. So under DRS, Jones may be a little bit of a sitting duck, and he's used a little bit more DRS, and he's defending with it now as well. And DRS will be enabled as Matty takes the fastest lap of the race. Danos is going to look to put a move on Callum. He's already dropped down to P8. Unfortunate, and now with DRS enabled, it may only get worse from here. He had the pace in the sprint, but unfortunately not in this opening phase. Stint, rather. And Natalie, let's watch her as we go through the first DRS zone of the race. Right, I'll bring you a little bit of data. Apologies for those, pauses and not, but without a co-commentator, I'm kind of, my brain can only see and do so much. And she has got DRS, but she's dropped down just a little bit. So the telemetry telling us that the driver is in range, and we can see the sector times also. So we can see Natalie really gaining on Jones in the straight line sectors of the track, and she's got a better exit. A little bit of a slip up there, and Jones is going to hold it though here, and he drops it deep. Got to rejoin safely, which he does. Natalie lets him do so. Callum has dropped down to P10 now, to Leakey in the Haas, and Jones under pressure. Natalie's got to set up a good run, as she picked up a warning there possibly. Telemetry says no, so she's clean. And I'm going to leave these times up, and we'll see how they change as we cross the line. She could get the move done here as they go into the braking zone of T27. And Jones reappears. He reappears in front, but it's all going to be in vain, unfortunately. A great effort to defend down the inside. And is he saying, you know what, have some ERS? She isn't passed yet, and she won't be passed going into turn one. It's only a matter of time before it happens though. But you could think if Smith now can catch up to the back and get involved, that might cause some friction between the Williams and the Mercedes, allowing the Aston Martin to get himself away. Jones did incredibly well there to come back out from the inside of T27. And I mean, look at the margins there. Natalie gaining nearly half a second in that lap alone. But Jones is able to extend himself a little bit during the first sector, and that's the crucial part. If he's behind Natalie, he's going to suffer not being able to fly too quickly through sector one. He's going to have to effectively lose 2/10 staying behind her. So it's crucial that he makes the most of sector one, and then just does what he can to make it difficult, put his car in the middle of the road to try and block Natalie from going through. And all the while, Smith nearly in DRS. He's got to worry about Snellhenk in behind though. Remember also, we need to get these streams pumping again. Unfortunately, low viewers. Maybe that's because it's toward the end of the season. But yeah, if we can do what we can, try and get some people in that would usually have been here in the past. And if you haven't already, you can go ahead and subscribe as well. But I'm sure most people here have done that already. Let's see then. Jones defends the straight again. However, as we see, every lap he is every lap he's using more and more ERS, and that time it wasn't so significant. Natalie made a big mistake in sector one. It's worthwhile keeping this up really. The battle for P2 is where we're at the moment. Nobody else really within DRS. Callum challenging the Haas, which we may catch. But this is where the battle is for the moment. So, logically, I'm going to stick with it. I will show you, Alex. Here we go. There's the tyres. Most on mediums. Just Danos in the top 10 who isn't. Yeah, absolutely. We can ask her what the back of the Aston Martin looks like after the race, because she'll have a detailed analysis prepared, I'm sure. Yeah, and he got a great move there defending the GOAT. That's it, mate. The First Division GOAT. Who, let's remember, is going to level up the playing field once he gets his rig. Battling all on a controller now, as most of the guys are. But again, when you look at that ERS deteriorating, you can tell it's only a matter of time. He's delaying the inevitable, really. And Smith, you'll be pleased to see, isn't gaining an awful lot. But a little tussle between these two cars, and that will bring Smith right back into play. Scooter has gone, and he's lost his left end plate. And he's facing the wrong way. Gets himself facing the right way again. Natalie coming through this sector, typically where Jones should have a big advantage. But again there, Natalie toing and froing, losing time, gaining time. Last lap she gained 3/10. Lost 8 the lap before and gained 5 the lap before. So it's to and fro as she looks to stick it up the inside. Jones leaves the room, and I think he's going to get the better traction, which he does, and holds on to the position. Difficult corners these for a driver with low downforce. But it's easy pickings on most occasions for drivers with low downforce. And Jones defends the inside, and he's going to have to concede. He's going to have to get a good exit, which he has done. And he's going to get I think he's going to get the move done again. Natalie is going to defend with the RS. And I think that's going to be it. She's using her spare battery. Jones has accepted it. He's going to get one more bite of the cherry here to extend this battle a little bit longer. But all the while, he should really just be worried about Smith in behind and trying to stay on the podium, which would be his best result of the season, I believe. I think his best result was P4 or P5, that Abu Dhabi result. I believe that being his best result of the season. So a podium. He hasn't quite reached it yet. And he definitely deserves it. Does a lot of work behind the scenes. And he commentates, and he races, and he does all the data. Well, no, Smith helps him with the data, but he does all the tables and the standings. So, to get a podium, which he's wanted all season, would be very good. Still, though, not much happening elsewhere. So, let's give someone else a little bit of time. Callum has eventually got past Leakey, but Leakey still in within a chance here as they head through the DRS zone. I think it's wise to compare Jones to Smith now and see how they're faring. Wow, so Smith running even more downforce than Jones. As Matty, Matty's sideways. He's got time, I think. Oh, right on the racing line, and drivers having to take avoiding action there. That is some exceptional driving, I think, there by Leakey and Callum. That's a really tough one. I think it was the right decision there for Leakey to stay where he was, albeit it was on the racing line, which meant that Callum had to take avoiding action. Was it Leakey or was it... Was that Matty who just went out there? Am I being silly here? It was Matty, sorry. I got confused with the two Hasses. So Matty has retired. He had a great sprint, but he's had to retire. And let's bring that replay again here. though. Smith is gaining, and he's gaining and gaining. And now he's under DRS, but he has more downforce. Significantly more downforce. I mean, it'll be very interesting to see how Jones gets on behind Natalie, and how Jones gets on behind Natalie, and how Smith therefore gets on behind Jones, all with different levels of downforce. Now, what's completely gone over my head is the fact that Matty was leading the race, and the leader has therefore dropped it and has DNF'd, which won't be a shock to those of you who are switched on, but it is to me. So Natalie leads the Jeddah Grand Prix, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and Jones will think, thank God, he's got another buffer to his podium. And Dino, really, I don't think, is gaining too much on Jones again. Let's take a look. No, he's not. He's averaging pretty similar lap time to Jones. So it's now a battle between, does Jones think that he can hang on behind Smith? Bearing in mind, Smith's gaining the best part of 8/10 in that first sector, and Spivey is round in sector 1. Not good for the Mercedes. Yeah, so that last lap from Smith, he was gaining 8/10 in sector 1, and he was obviously losing therefore down the straights of sector 2 and 3. But you'd think he doesn't want to lose too much time defending Smith if he can just get on with Dino and keep matching his lap times. Ivor has picked up a 3-second time penalty, him and Ruza at the back of the grid. I'm still waiting for confirmation on here. 1 second. And who's that then? Jones is in the pits. He's the first driver in, and he's going to strap on the hard tyres for the best part of 14 more racing laps. And he gets out in a good amount of time. Average pit stop loss around here, 30.5 seconds. So we can bear that in mind when we look at the gaps. Oh, and a little bit of traffic there nearly for Jones. And Organic is the next driver behind him on those hard tyres. So Jones pitting quite early onto those hards. The first driver to make the call. That will have come from his engineer, I've got no doubt. And the overcut might be the strategy. Let's see. He was no more than a second away from Smith, less when he boxed. So let's see where he comes out in the future. Especially, is that Smith against the wall? No. Especially if these two battle and they hold on and lose some time, all the while benefiting Jones. So Dino 2 seconds away from this battle, not really involved. Snellhang 2.5 to him, and then 2 6-second gaps to Danos and Callum. Callum back up to P6 after some incidents, which is good to see. He'll want to hold on to that, which arguably will be his best result of the season. Not sure, but it's good to bring in some good points, especially after doing so well in the sprint race, where points are also on offer. Issue in sector 3. That's in Organic and Jones in that territory. Please no, Jones. I know the hard tyres are very difficult, and Natalie, Smith and Snellheng immediately come in, so Jones was right to go, well, seemingly, box early, and he's going to be battling these guys on warmer tyres. Let's see, he's going to have DRS as well, crucially, in Organic. Probably won't put up too much of a fight. It's interesting to see here where Natalie and Smith come out in terms of this battle going on behind. Natalie looks like she's out and okay. Smith, however, has a buffer, and that is the buffer in the shape of a Red Bull, and it's Callum. Provisionally up to P4. Let's see how quickly Smith can get around. And Jones has also unfortunately found himself stuck now behind Leakey. So Smith has taken him. And if he hadn't had that Haas in front of him, he could have gained on those warm tyres. But you'll have to now just keep an eye out on Dino, which I am going to do. We'll see these lap times. Jones obviously flying in the final 2 sectors. And Dino can scarcely afford to lose too much time on pit entry or exit. And Jones got right in behind Leakey there. I'm not sure if he's going to make a move here. He's got the move done already, so Jones gets past And Inorganic says thank you very much. He's snipped up in the inside, and that's a lovely opportunistic move there by Inorganic up into P7. Hasn't pitted yet though, but he's only got one car behind him who has. So he'll inherit P8, and he's flying down towards Jones now, who's recouped a little bit of ERS, but he's still not got as much as some guys in front of him, Smith and Natalie. Smith really with a good package. Callum boxes and opens up the door there. You can see Natalie ahead. A big gap though to the leader. Dino's in the pits. Let's see where he comes out. And Dino has absolutely nailed that, and he's come out in P2. He's gained 2 positions on that strategy there. I'm quite surprised by that, but Smith is going to be all over him on those warm tyres, and Jones the same. He is without DRS, interestingly, unfortunately. And Smith looks to hang it around the outside. He's got to be careful that Dino doesn't roll out into him on those cold tyres. Lack of grip there. And Jones all on the back of Smith, and Smith's dropped it. He's in the wall. No, he's not. He's okay, but he's lost time and lost places. Jones nearly put himself in the wall, avoiding that incident. And now Jones thinks that P2 is absolutely on here. He had the beating of Dino on lap times, and we're about to get some updated ones. And Jones could be about to take P2. I'm glad we caught that on stream. We can go back to that in a moment once things have settled down a little bit. And there goes Jones back up into P2. He's had the pace for it aside from Smith. He's had the pace for P3 100%. So it's only right that he takes what's his. I would doubt that he'll catch up with Natalie, so he's just got to worry about what's going on behind him. Watch out for his tyres, not pick up any damage. Let's just double check that he didn't get any damage when he made contact, well, possibly made contact with the wall earlier. No, he's all clean, good stuff. Tyre wear looking good as well. I mean, he's only done a few laps, but he holds on. Right, let's go back and take a look at what happened there then with and he's A-OK. And now Jones has got to worry about Dino in behind. Once they cross the line, we'll get a true representation, really, of these times. And Dino half a second slower than Jones on that lap. However, Dino significantly losing time in sector 1. So again, he looks like he's running low downforce. So just what Jones had to deal with against Natalie earlier, he has to deal with again now against Dino. Inorganic yet to stop, so Smith will re-inherit P5 when that eventuality comes. But Alfa Romeo currently running P3 and P4, albeit temporary. Jones is getting all the action tonight, but that's really all that's going on track. This 3-4 car battle for P2 is what we've got on our hands. Natalie extending the gap lap after lap. She's now 4 seconds clear. And big gaps to the midfield again. All spread out coming through sector 2. But at least we got some action at the front then. And Dino, I mean, he's dragging his teammate along, and Organic looked like he was going to go straight into the wall there. And is Inorganic going to pit, or is he staying out still? He's on the hards, I think, so... He's on the hards, so we can take them for another lap or two, and then he'll come in on the mediums. Or he might try and extend it into the soft territory. They're actually only on 35%, so he could theoretically take them another 5 or 6 laps and possibly bang on the softs. And he wants to hold out for a potential safety car. With the walls being so close, it can come out at any time. Although we've been very good, actually, in the last few races. Not many stewards tickets and not too many safety cars to note either. So, fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But that is what Inorganic will be praying for. The number 69 car is teammate ahead. And we can see there, Dino gaining, actually, a 10th and a half. Still in behind Jones. And he actually gained in the first sector there, so maybe Jones made a mistake. I'm not sure if that's a representative time. And crucially there, Inorganic with 60% ERS down to 50 now. Staying within DRS, but not really putting up a challenge just yet. I think he gets ever so close, and then Jones puts in a bit of a margin in Sector 1, so you've got to hope that he can keep using ERS and sort of try and match Jones on that empty battery, so that it's down to raw pace. We've got 10 laps to go. Or 9 laps to go. And it's all looking so far so good. Jones runs the shortest line. And these guys still bunching up together. Oh, and a little wide there by Dino, which opens the door for Smith as he looks to take Inorganic, the cork in the bottle, as it were, at this point. 16 or 17 lap old hards competing against fresh slick rubber. And Smith's definitely got the pace. He doesn't want to do anything outrageous, though. He's got the ERS as well. He's better off putting it up the inside of 27 if he can't get it done down the straight, which I'm sure he will. Jones has actually closed the gap to Natalie a little bit there. Now only 3.5 seconds. She was just over 4 a few laps ago. And he's keeping Dino at bay even under DRS. Smith not gained enough there on Inorganic. He really ought to get by, because Inorganic's game plan will surely be to defend. He's boxed. And that sets free the Mercedes to chase after his teammate. And let's see, Inorganic should surely go on the softs at this point. Let's see what his mechanics have in store for him. They do indeed have the soft rubber. So we've got Inorganic going for some qualifying laps and a change of front wing, unfortunately. So that's going to put him back a little bit. But he should come out behind Callum and ahead of Ivor, you would guess. He's right at the end of the pit lane. He's on his way out, and Leaky and Ivor are going into a battle themselves, and he is out. So we've seen him before. Doesn't want to put a move up on Callum, which is more than fine. So really, all he's doing is securing P9, which he'll be very pleased with. And I'm sure he'll do that on the soft rubber. Just got to bear in mind, you know, laps 23, 4, 5 onwards, not to take any risks and just bring it home, so long as Ivor is still a few seconds behind. The battle toward the front, though, for P2, still hanging in the balance. A few cars within a second and a half of each other. I'm just going to flash up Inorganic and Callum's recent form. Although, again, you can't see Callum's. Callum DNF 6-12-12. So, Inorganic has really been improving. He hasn't been outside of the top 10 in the last 5 races, so good for him. And he's currently not there this race either, so that'll be a good streak for him. And it's just about where he's averaged over the last few races. That P5 in Imola, the outlier there, but P9, P9, P8 finds him exactly where he should be. And as I say, on those softs, he should be 6.5 seconds with only a matter of laps to go. I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine to hold on to this position though. Jones now though, look at this, detrimentally, he's lost the position. I've missed it, I apologise for that. Jones has got to get the battle back onto him now. He lost half a second in that last lap, so did he make a mistake? He dropped half a second in Sector 3 alone. But he's already going to be in a position to put some on him. And Dino's not got that much more ERS. Don't do anything silly now, Jones. Stay where you are and do it into 27. That's exactly what he's going to do, 27, and if not 1. Thankfully, not much else to cover around the rest of the circuit. Smith, though, still looking to poach P2, perhaps. One of these guys is going to be very disappointed when they don't end up on the podium. They've all got the pace to do it. Let's watch on then. Jones. Is he going to stick a move up the inside? He is, you know. And he's got it slowed down. Inorganic went for the switchback. If he hadn't, he probably would have been squeezed. But Jones gets that move done. I missed Dino's, but I've got Jones's. And he's back up into P2. With only 6 laps to go. Natalie still in and around the 4-second margin. So she is home and dry as long as she can avoid any mistakes. And thankfully, we're nearly past the safety car period. I may have just jinxed it, but only a few laps to go before we reach that point. Inorganic sets the fastest lap of the race. So another point coming home for the Alfa Romeo driver as things stand. And I'm doubtful that anyone else would beat that, to be perfectly honest. I think everyone else ahead of him is on the hards as Iva picks up another set of penalties. He, Callum and Ruza. I believe that's now 6 seconds for Iva. And it was a pit lane penalty for Callum, unfortunately. Plenty of people gaining 5 places. Natalie, Dino and Leakey. The standouts here, but Jones holding on to what will be a great result. And look at that, Dino nearly took a second out of Jones in the first sector. And he's looking to retaliate, and thankfully for Jones, Dino now matches him on a similar level of ERS. So it's coming down to raw pace, but as I said, Smith is not out of this fight yet. It just takes one piece of side-by-side action. Maybe like this one, Jones defends aggressively to the inside, not giving him much space, and Dino has flown straight past him. And now the issue here for Jones is, what does he do with this extra downforce through this first sector? Is he going to be right up behind him? He gained 7 tenths in the first sector last time. And almost matched second sector times, interestingly. And he's got a great exit. He's going to have to hold off a little bit with that downforce. He's got a better exit, and that's the trouble with running more wing around a low downforce track. You can be quicker, but then get held up. And all Dino has to do is keep his foot to the floor, and his car does the rest. I'm starting to feel like that's the favourable setup on this game, at least. The low downforce option, just keep it calm in the corners. And that's really put Jones off, and look at that, he's dropped Smith up to P3. And Smith might be looking for 2 in one corner here. We were right on board with Jones. He's got the best view of it. And look at them both just pulling away from him. He's got to stick with it though, because these guys are going to go wheel to wheel, or is Dino going to let him by? Smith up to P2. The mistake hasn't mattered. He's back up to realistically the best position he could have asked for. And now is Jones going to be hampered through here again? Issue in Sector 1. Who's that? Ruza? Yes. Blue flags for Ruza. Gone off. No problem. We've passed the safety car window now as Danos comes along and nicks in Organic's point. A 131.712 for Ferrari. An extra point coming home from then. Everyone who finishes will score points, which is good to see. And Jones has got that downforce. He's got the launch and he nearly drove it into the wall there. Sector 2 again. Ruza bringing out the yellow flags. And he's sticking within DRS. It will be such a shame. P4 is still a great result, but it will be such a shame after he spent 95% of the race, both races, in those positions. And Danos is gone. And the safety car's out. I thought we passed the period. That is late drama. Danos has brought the safety car out. He just picked up the fastest lap. And then he's ploughed it into the barrier. And what is going to happen now? Natalie comes in. Smith comes in. Dino, Dukes, Jones should follow. As he does, they'll all be frantically telling their engineers to put on the soft tyres. No one pick up a penalty. Let's keep this exciting. Everyone's in. Snellhink follows. Rodo. Inorganic. Be interesting to see what Inorganic does here, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if he just stayed out. Let's see what his tyres are on. He has stayed out. But now he has to adhere to the delta time, so he's not actually going to pick up any places. His tyres will go the distance. He's picked up one position. But a great result if you can hang on. The safety car will only give us... It has to be 2 laps, right? So it has to come in at the end of this lap. It has to be 2 laps of racing, I think. But this has just thrown everything in the air. Everything these drivers have worked on. And that's just... I mean, they will all be on soft. That much is given. Never mind. Smith is on the mediums. And that really opens the door to Jones. He can absolutely see... And Smith's tyre wear there, encroaching 40%. So although he's got more downforce than Jones, Jones is obviously going to have the rubber advantage big time. And he's got to remain calm here and go and get his podium. Either of these drivers to stick it would be good to see. But after a hard season and a good battle tonight, really sticking it in with the big guns at the top, it'll be good to see the Aston Martin stick himself on the podium. Let's see what happens then, because if I'm right, the safety car should be coming in this lap. And it is. Now I'm going to watch on with Jones, who is obviously going to look to get alongside Smith at the earliest opportunity. Late drama here. We're going to have 2 laps to decide the winner of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in First Division. The viewership's gone up slightly, which is lovely to see. Any late predictions? Anyone going to bin it? Or is someone going to win it? Could Dino stick one up the inside of Natalie, perhaps, if he times the exit? Here, let's see. Natalie's gone, and Jones has been caught napping a little bit. Stanhank will see that as well, but Jones has got to rest on the idea of the tyres ahead. He can really outbrake himself here and gain a lot on Smith ahead. Snellhenk is a threat though in behind in Organic. Less of a threat on those old wearing tyres. Rodo is already going to be alongside. That's going to be another cork in the bottle. So the position that he gained by staying out, he's forced him off the track a little bit and he's gone round. So unfortunate. He's gone round and Jones has got Smith and Smith's got Jones and he's held onto it on those mediums, but Jones is really going to have to get this move done and get some time put in. A dent. Natalie already 1.7 ahead. And the battle for P2 is more or less done. It's all on P3. Smith looks to hang it up the inside, but the grip around the outside is superior, and Jones on those soft tyres picks up that place and back up into P3. And Snellhenk has come along and said, I'll have that as well. And Smith now dropping more places. Is Snellhen going to challenge Jones? Let's see what happened here then. He got the move done, and Smith's dropped down to P6 in behind Rodo. Jones holding on. He's going to be within DRS of Dino. Could he make a move for P2? Is it a bit audacious? Is he just going to hold on to what he's got? Callum closing in on Smith now as well. And he'll be, again, rubbing his hands together at the thought of those old mediums. In organic down to P10, so it wasn't too bad, but he'll not be pleased with himself, unfortunately. And Rodo, a little bit of a cork in the bottle. He's just had to take evasive action and move out the way, which is going to make it a little bit harder for Callum. If Smith is able to get himself back up the inside, and he does try it, but the superior grip is going to see Callum move past now. I believe a little bit of grinding on the wall there by Rodo, and it's gone from bad to worse for Smith, who was up in P2 or 3. And now down in P7, not good for the championship, unfortunately. Jones, however, he's not going to have DRS, but he is going to have his battery. They've both got battery, and Jones has got the exit here. He's going to have the drag. We've already seen Dino running a slimmer rear wing. Issue in Sector 3, on Organic picking up a penalty. It's not going to matter. Jones looking for the switchback. Is he going to get the drive? He has got the drive, but the straight line speed of Dino, I think, is going to be enough. Natalie has come across the line to win, and Dino hangs on. Jones, what an effort. P3 it is for him. Only a tenth and a bit separating the two drivers. Snellhenk, great drive from McLaren, comes across in P4. Leakey, great result from him. He was nowhere near P5, and all of a sudden, he's locked it in. Smith, disastrous safety car restart, unfortunately, strapping on presumably the incorrect tyre, and that's cost him. Callum, good result in P7 after starting in P2. We said ideally P5, worst case P10. He's banged it right in the middle. Rodo P8 in Organic, recovered up to P9. Ivor the top 10. Spivey after his mistakes in P11, and Ruza P12. No points though for Danos, who had that retirement earlier on. Well, that was exciting. A very exciting end to the race. Leakey, the game's driver of the day, and on that final lap, Jones gaining 8 tenths on Dino. No wonder he finished the race so close in behind. I'm going to open up and join the comms channel, and it will be absolutely great to give Jones his interview. Let's remove some of this stuff. So there it is then. Natalie on the top step, joined by the Alfa Romeo drivers and the Aston Martin drivers of Jones and Dino. So great result for Dino. I think that must be one of his best results in the last few weeks. Smith finished the race with no front wing and 50% tyre wear, so really, really tough one for him. Let's get the formal results, not the sprint results. Come on, game. My game is frozen. There we go. So here is the top 14, and the rest of the DNF is Matty and Scooter. We'll give these guys a couple of minutes to join us, and what we might do is just put us back on the live standings table, which has updated. So Smith wasn't able to make the most of that, but Natalie went ahead and extended the margin quite a bit. That's now 68 points. So let's see if anyone... Oh, and they're both with us. Amazing. Right. Well, I'll start with you, Natalie, as the race winner. Congratulations. Another one under the belt. It was a flying start off the line in the feature race.
I got my elbows out a bit for the first time.
Yeah, good. Nice. Good, yeah.
But,
and I'm under the impression you're not a big fan of this circuit.
Hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're on pad, but it's
I'm not, but I can imagine.
It's just... So, like, if you do it on wheel, you can switch directions so nice and smooth, but it's so hard to get the smoothness down on pad. And also, I run also, so the first sector is a bit horrible. But
yeah, that
I was more worried about the ghosting, to be honest, because obviously we've got ghosting off, and with me starting at the back, the only race I've ever done around here on this game had ghosting off as well. And I got collected from an incident that had nothing to do with me.
Oh yeah, it is a nightmare.
Sort of like PTSD Vietnam War flashback.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
Shell shocked. Jesus.
That was it. I was just like, oh no, oh no.
Wow.
And in the sprint, I was just like hanging back massively, and like I had about 5 people just go wee right in front of me, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, trying to avoid the turn one stuff.
But
in the end, you brought it home, and it was... I mean, I didn't actually expect the safety car so late, but, you know, you held under the pressure and you immediately just sort of got away anyway, so...
I did not want that safety car.
Yeah, I mean, it made my job a little bit easier, but it was all going a little bit too smoothly. Something had to go wrong. We didn't have a safety car last week or the week before, I don't think, so... It's been good going as to what it used to be at the start of the year. So, what do you think next week? Well, we've got a break next week, actually, don't we? But the following week, it's Zandvoort, which is sort of the opposite end of the spectrum from this kind of circuit.
I will do what I do around Jeddah and drive around at 2 miles an hour and hope for the best.
Okay, well, I mean, 2 miles an hour has won you the race. So
it's
must be quick enough.
Where people like going wee right in front of me, so
yeah,
they scare me. I'm not very quick around there, but I've only had one race around there as well. So now we'll see how it goes. But no, Jones.
Yes, Jones.
Oi.
Join us.
I'm so proud.
Unmute yourself before. There we go.
Good evening, Mr. Glassy.
Well, hey, look who it is for the first time. He joins me. Yeah. In the interview room.
A while.
It has been a while.
I don't think it's ever been a thing.
I don't think it has, mate. I don't think it has. But either way, vice versa, I don't think it's ever happened. Well, congratulations, mate. I mean, you'll see, and I'm sure you heard from Baka that the majority of the stream was focused around you and your position, and you held on in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I need to change my t-shirt now. I'm absolutely sweating.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, some good battles out there as well. It's really enjoyable. I actually really hate that track, but I actually enjoyed it in the race, weirdly enough.
Yeah,
maybe it's because I had a good result for once.
I'm just laughing at Smith's gif in the chat. It's funny. Yeah, mate. So, I mean, you were so close to taking Dino on the line there, but realistically, you know, P3 getting that first podium under the belt was obviously the aim. Was Baka giving you the strategic advice? Is that why you went for the overcut first to box?
Yeah, he suggested the undercut, which we thought was going to work out. I think then the overcut was more powerful than we thought. But you know, I think we were in a position where we were just going to try something. We knew we didn't have the pace, certainly on Matty and Nat, and we were kind of.
You were rapid, mate.
Not as fast as you, clearly.
Nah, mate, you were quick today. You were quick today.
The thing that was a struggle there, I don't know if you found this, Nat, was I found like myself was working really nicely in the corners, but then like I mean, I would say there's one too many DRS zones, but most people probably not because I was trying to defend against it. But every time I seemed to get away, I wasn't away enough to just bring him right back in, so you couldn't quite actually go up the road. Yeah,
that was the highlight of your day, really. Everyone that you were challenged behind was running less downforce than you, so you were gaining sometimes half a second to a second in sector 1, and then they would all just come back and it would all just unravel in the final 2 sectors.
Well, I did 2 laps before, and I just took my setup from 2 seasons ago, so I don't even know what the wings are. All I did, oh well, that was the one. Backer really helped with the tyres. My tyres were looking in a bit of a state when we first gone on the setup, so we just changed the tyre pressures and just hoped for the best. Yeah, there was a few incidents to avoid. I know Smith had a little spin, which I had to get out of the way of. Yeah, he spun right. He dropped it in front of me, but he came back in. Smith had really good pace as always, but he dropped it in front of me like mid-race, and I really weed myself.
I did when I came on Matty, because Matty dropped it just, the fast left-hander. He dropped it on the exit, but his car was literally parked right across the entire track. And literally I had it like flash through my back of my head.
On the racing line.
Shit, ghosting's off. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's where Smith dropped it as well, but he was like a bit more to the left. So
yeah, his was just a traction problem, but Matty was fully sideways on the racing line. He did the right thing though. He did the right thing.
I was terrified. Yeah, he got DSQ for it, which I feel. I understand. Yeah, I think the same thing happened to you at Canada, didn't it? But
we don't talk about that.
No, we don't.
The game's just a bit rubbish.
I thought as well that Matty was really impressive tonight. It was a shame for him that happened, because he was. I mean, I tried to. I wanted to lead one lap so I could say I've led a lap this season. So I really fought him pretty hard on the first lap, but knew like he was going to be quicker than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't expect him to make a mistake, because he just absolutely dropped me within a few laps.
But we got there in the end, mate. We got there in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
So congratulations.
Absolutely.
Thoughts for Zandvoort? A track you're familiar with, or don't like, or do you like?
Yeah, I like Zandvoort. I guess my engineer's home Grand Prix, so I'll have to, Backer will start giving me more
to a lot of our drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, some more sound advice, I'm sure. Well, I'm just looking at the standings here as well. You're well and truly clear of 11th. I think, quick maths, you're as close as you are to 7th and you are to 11th. So you're definitely in that top 10 fight. Where have you got any realistic aims? What was your aim at the start of the season, if you had one?
I was actually thinking about this when I had a little look at the standings earlier when I was on the way home, and I just thought, get another 10th in. At least I'm on the left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah.
I may be right at the bottom of it, but at least I'm there.
Yeah, it's a separation of quality, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the aim. Always end up on the left-hand side of glassy screen. It's what people dream about.
It is the dream. It is the dream. I'm actually surprised more people aren't on that, to be fair.
Well, if it helps, I'm pretty sure that Kieran's like proper rooting for you to be the best driver in a first division. So
he is. He was.
All I'm seeing in the comments.
Yeah, he was.
So that's because Kieran is the well, Glassy's right here, so I don't want to say it. He's the best co-commentator in the world.
Well, he's far superior to Entity. I mean, that much is a given, obviously.
Yeah, and an absolutely amazing teammate in ACC. You should see the way he drives without brakes. It's very impressive.
It is very impressive. Just driving completely through the pit lane, it's amazing. Anyway, yeah, that was good chat. I appreciate you joining me. But we could go on all night, so it's best to shut ourselves up, basically. Anyway, break week next week, so you got some time to rest, maybe some events that we might end up doing again. But all in all, only 2 rounds to go, and then the new game's on us straight away. So I'm glad you managed to get yourself in here, Jones, for the first time before the season ended. Hopefully another one next time.
Jones.
Cheers. Yeah, and thanks for comms, Glassy, as always, and thanks for
stuff,
sharing it live.
I'm sure you'll enjoy watching it back.
Yeah, I will. That's probably the only race I will watch back from my time racing.
Well, it hasn't been the last 2, has it?
No, absolutely not, no.
Oh, Kieran wants more Jones interviews. That's cute.
Yeah, well, it needs to happen. Only one man can make that happen. That's him himself. Right, well, good stuff. I'm going to go make myself some scran.
Ooh,
and
lovely.
I have no idea what, though, but we'll soon see. So, thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll wrap up, and we'll speak to you in a couple of weeks, more than likely.
See you later, mate.
Good stuff.
Enjoy the week off.
Yep. Cheers, Glassy.
I will. Yeah, cheers, guys.
See ya.
See ya. Right, so that's that. We've got 2 rounds left to go. And yeah, been a good race actually. Cheers to those guys who joined us. And the replay system went okay. I felt like we just need a couple more POVs, so hopefully they come in. I think we'll have 2 or 3 more by next week, and then anybody else who signs up, which will also be good. I'm just reading Kieran's All About Jones, absolutely loves it. So good to see. Cheers for everyone for watching, and we'll see you in a fortnight's time around the Dutch Zandvoort circuit. Nearly didn't get my words out there.